Alright, we're going to be looking at this hand today. This hand is focusing more on opening the Dark Magician, whereas not Magician Soul. Magician Soul lets us do combos and draws and stuff. Sometimes you don't see it though, you just hard open the boy. And you kind of like what I do with a big vanilla boy, right? Well, I'm going to show you what to do. We're going to start with Rod, because if we get ashed on Rod or negated on Rod, we're going to be crying. So, effective Rod before we go for anything. Now, we're just looking for Circle here today, and voila, here it is. We're going to add that Circle to the hand. Activate the said Circle. We're able to chain to this. If it doesn't get ashed, the opponent shouldn't ash it because it's Circle. Chain the Soul Servant. From here, you could stack Secrets, but I think it's best to stack the Salvation here. Just going to go ahead and put that on top of my deck, give it a good shuffle, and we're going to look at top 3. Alright, Salvation on the top. We're going 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, we've only got the Salvation to add, so let's do that. And we'll put the others back with the set rotation on top, because that card's kind of good. Very cool and nice. This will now be in the bin. We can activate the Salvation. This means we can now go and get Eternal Soul, so we're actually ready to set up the Dark... Well, we've got the Dark Magician Triangle set up now, right? That's pretty good. Alright, Eternal Soul, we're going to set it over here. Fantastic. Now, unfortunately, we don't get any value off this Soul Servant turn 1 because the DM's stuck in our hand. If we did have that Magician Souls here, instead of the DM, we'd be able to, you know, banish and get some draws. But unfortunately, that's not the case in this hand, and that's just what happens sometimes. Another reason why I say play 2 Dark Magician, guys. You really don't want to see too many in the hand. Even 1 is bad enough most of the time. Now, before we pass turn here, we're going to want to link away this Rod. So let's go ahead and do that, and that's just going to let us pump out this little link 1 that can get us some value on Rod next turn. So on the opponent's turn, at some point, we're going to flip up that Eternal Soul using the effect. That's going to let us summon our DM. It's going to trigger Circle. We're going to go Chain Link 1 Circle, Chain Link 2 Rod effect, tributing Artemis. Then on resolution, Rod will come to hand and Circle will banish. Now, if the Circle effect is the most important, I'd make that Chain Link 1. If you care more about adding Rod back to hand, I'd make that effect Chain Link 1. You get to pick because they are both trigger effects happening on a new chain. So basically what happens, just to go over that sequencing one more time, we flip up Eternal Soul with the effect. Now, you can also choose to flip it without the effect, but we are just going to play around Ghost Ogre for now, in theory, and flip it with effect. This plays into Ghost Bell, but around Ghost Ogre. We're going to say effective Eternal Soul summon DM from hand. The opponent gets a chance to respond. They can do something, and then we get to summon DM as Chain Link 1. Cool. On a new chain, we've met 2 trigger effects. One is Rod's effect because we've activated a spell trap on the opponent's turn, and Circle's effect because we've summoned a DM or at any point in the game. So we get to pick which one goes first. Let's say it's the opposite this time and we really care about adding the Rod back to hand. I'm going to say Rod effect, Chain Link 1, tributing Artemis for cost. Chain Link 2, Circle, targeting one of their monsters. Chain will resolve backwards, Circle will go off first, then Rod will come to hand as our first Chain Link. Fantastic. I hope that makes a lot of sense and that Chain Links aren't too confusing as well. If we did have the Dark Magician Girl engraved, we would have been able to use Salvation as well. Now, one thing to point out, while this combo isn't about Salvation, if we did have DMG engrave, there's a chance that you can miss timing of Salvation if you tribute Dark Magician with Eternal Soul. But maybe that's a video for another time. Anyway, good stuff today, guys. I'll catch you very soon. See ya.